In this video, I'm going to be giving you a tour and review of Tropitel Sahl Hasheesh here south of Hurghada. The Tropitel is a 5-star resort located south of Hurghada city, about a 30 to 45 minute drive from the airport depending on who's driving. The Tropitel has close to 600 rooms and suites. I think it's 578, so it is quite a large resort. It's got a main pool area with a swim-up bar, but then there's also, I think, a kiddie pool. There's also the pool where the water park is, and an adults only pool. The hotel also has a spa which is called La Perla. What's great about this hotel, and is one of its selling points, is that you can literally walk from the pool straight onto the beach. There's also conferencing facilities, so that's another reason why this hotel is, I guess, a multi-function, multi-purpose hotel. And there's a ballroom here as well. Although this hotel is only a 30-minute drive from the airport, the location is great because it has its own beach. However, if you're someone who likes to get around by Uber, it is very difficult to get an Uber from here. A lot of the Ubers actually hang around Makadi as opposed to here. So they may be 18 kilometers away from here. So you might not necessarily be able to get an Uber. Calling another taxi or using the taxi services, if you're not Egyptian, they can be quite expensive, and the hotel and taxi service is quite expensive. Like on Uber, it's a fraction of the cost. If you find a good Uber driver, I suggest taking his number so that you could call him when you need him, basically, because getting an Uber from here can be quite difficult. One day I was going to Cairo for the day while staying here, and it literally took me about 45 minutes to get an Uber. Also for tours, if you're booking tours, they charge you a lot more picking up from Sahl Hasheesh. So they may charge you $10 more for pickup from this area. The hotel has a really big reception with some iced tea and fresh juice kept on the side to help yourself too. Check-in is a very easy and quick process. Didn't get a welcome drink, but I don't know if that's common here in Egypt, because the other hotel I was staying at, I didn't get a welcome drink either, but there's plenty of juice to kind of help yourself too. In terms of facilities, the hotel really does have it all. The pool is a really great place to like chill out. If you're all inclusive, they've got a swim up bar that you can get your drinks from and just relax. Away from the main pool, you've also got this small little pool for chilling out, and you can still hear the music from the main pool. So I wouldn't say that it's like a quiet area, but there's like less people here. There's literally one person and a lifeguard here right now. The hotel also has free water slides, perfect for kids. The adults only area is right behind me. It's nice and quiet. It's literally right by the spa, but it is like pretty small, and every time I go there, there's quite a few people there. If you're finding this video useful, please do subscribe. All the pools here are manned by lifeguards. Even when there's nobody there, there's a pool, a little kind of paddling pool. It must be for kids. I don't even know what it is. Which nobody ever uses, but there's always one lone lifeguard there. But I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. The spa has really complete services. There's a salon inside, a gym, and where you can get your massages. So they do massage, hair treatments, haircuts, barbering, manicure, pedicures, facials. Well, the gym room itself is small, but actually it's got quite a few bits and pieces. It's almost quite complete. So I would definitely recommend, if you're into working out, then this is actually quite a good gym to come to, because it's got a lot of free weights there, and then an Olympic stand and a few other bits and bobs which I don't know the names of. In comparison to other hotels in the area, this spa actually has very reasonably priced treatments. I can't vouch for it because I actually haven't had a treatment whilst I've been here. I've just not had enough time to. But they've shown me around it, and it looks really nice. It smells delightful in there. And actually because I was contemplating doing having the Cleopatra hammam experience. The treatments are actually quite reasonably priced. almost similar to what you might pay outside the hotel, including like hotel pick-up and drop-off. So I would actually just stay here and do the hammam experience. They also have a sauna, steam room and jacuzzi in there. I think it's $15 in order to use those facilities. I mean, I always feel like sauna, steam room, jacuzzi should be free when in a five-star hotel. If for whatever reason they can't make it free, they should include one free usage during your stay. Now, I don't know if this is a common thing because that was also the case at the hotel I was staying at previously in Makati. The Tropitel has its own beach which is a little bit rocky, but it's still very beautiful. The water's very shallow here, and a couple of days when I've been at the beach, the tide has been all the way back. The waters are essentially crystal clear, but I would opt for having sea shoes if I were you, because it is a little bit rocky. And so another thing I love about this hotel is this pier that they have from the shore going out to sea. From the end of the pier there are a few steps which you can take down into the sea. It's pretty deep, so there are life jackets there if you're not a good swimmer, but if you're fine, you don't need the life jacket. And you can do a bit of swimming, a bit of snorkeling, and they probably know that this side of the beach is usually always shallow. So out there are like a couple of coral reefs. They have a lifeguard out there making sure people don't swim off too far or swim over the reefs or touch, break anything, or hurt themselves. They've also got a couple of benches along the pier, so if you do get out of breath, you can stop, sip some water, catch your breath and take in these priceless views. These views are absolutely stunning. You can literally see how the water's shallow, and then there's literally a drop off and like a natural pool. It's very deep, you can't put your foot down on the bottom, and that's the end of the pier where you can go in and have a swim. So you can see some people wearing life jackets, and that just makes it easy to snorkel. This spot is actually a perfect place to come around 5:36 to watch the sun set over the desert. The sun actually rises over the sea from here and sets over the desert, so you get a really beautiful view from here. So right in front of the beach there is a little outside shower and pipe to wash your feet and to take a quick rinse, but there are toilet and shower facilities, bigger ones than this, a little bit further along the beach. One thing I forgot to mention about the shade on the beach, I don't like it. This has gaps in it, and so if you're someone like me who likes to lie under the shade, it is actually very uncomfortable, because some of your body will be in shade and some of your body will be in the sunlight. They do at the back have a few proper parasols. If you like to have the option of being in the shade, I suggest being at the back of the beach, get them to open up an actual parasol for you than being under this weird kind of hut thing that looks cute but isn't really practical. The hotel also has its own diving center called Waves, so you can book a number of water sports activities through here. So scuba diving, I think like a day out snorkeling, I think you can have like kite surfing and windsurfing lessons. If I was here a little bit longer, and I probably would have opted to do to have some kite surfing lessons, or is it windsurfing lessons, one of them. There are so many places to chill out at this hotel. There are like swings and seats and hammocks just in front of the beach for relaxing on. In front of the Tropitel there's also a place where you can rent buggies, scooters and bicycles to kind of drive or ride up the corniche. So they have a nice little corniche in Sahl Hasheesh which lines the beach and makes its way all the way to, I don't know where, but I think it's at least 20 kilometers. That's what I heard last time. I think the buggies are €20 an hour, the scooters €15 an hour, and the bikes €10 an hour. The bikes, if you're staying 7 days or more, you get a voucher when you check in for one free 1 hour ride. I'm just in the middle of my scooter ride along the Corniche, and I'm telling you, it's really worth renting the buggies, bikes or scooters and just taking a ride along the Corniche. You'll get some really nice, beautiful views. You get to see all the other hotels, and it's actually just a nice experience. If the weather allows for it, then I would actually even take a walk. You can also find sections of secluded beach like where I am now if you want to have some private beach time. Here's the scooter that I've rented. The hotel has simple decor, but it's pretty cool and clean throughout. One thing I really like about this hotel is that it has elevators. So if you have issue with mobility, accessibility, you can get around the hotel easily. You're not limited to being on a ground floor room, because that might not be your preference. For me, I don't like being on the ground floor. The Tropitel also has 2 ATMs, which is very convenient, and also has a office where you can book lots of different tours and activities. The hotel also has a shopping complex with multiple shops. You can buy like water sports bits, so like your snorkeling mask. They've also got perfumery, they've got a pharmacy, they've got a kind of convenience store where you can buy your sun lotion, snacks, creams. They've got a number of shops. The hotel, of course, has its own Wi-Fi. However, it's not the fastest, but there is an option to upgrade and pay for faster internet. To be honest, in this day and age, I think every hotel should be giving you high-speed Wi-Fi included in your room rate. What is great about this hotel is that it has a medical center, and it says that the doctor is available 24 hours a day. It actually looks like a proper clinic. You can go in there. It has an office, and then there's also like an actual room. So the main restaurant is where they serve buffet breakfast, lunch and dinner, and you can sit outside. There's plenty of room to eat outside, which is nice first thing in the morning and also in the evening. And they've split the main restaurant into 2 rooms. One is for everyone and the other one is for adults only, if you prefer, peace and quiet as you're taking your meal. The main restaurant is called The Palm, but outside you'll have like the outside grill barbecue area. So there's often things there for lunch, dinner and breakfast. So for breakfast they serve waffles and pancakes outside, and then dinner they might be grilling. If I'm honest, the food I found okay. The hotel I was staying in previously actually preferred the food. They do have themes. I reckon after 7 days you may get a little bit tired of the food because it seems to be on rotation on a weekly basis. You can order additional food at a cost, so you can get lobsters and prawns and fish for additional cost. I had a lobster one evening and it was really tasty. I'm not going to lie, that's been the most delicious thing I've eaten since being here. Other than the main restaurant, the hotel has 3 other restaurants. It has the Mexican, which is behind me, and then the Italian, and then it has a 3rd restaurant, which is the Turkish restaurant. The Italian and the Mexican open from 2 p.m. each day, and lunch here will be a la carte, but it is, if you're staying here all inclusive, you can have your lunch here every single day. In the evening, there is an additional cost. I'm not sure if you're staying here a week, if you get one free evening meal at these restaurants. The Turkish restaurant is meant to be really nice. It's up on the, I think, either the 4th or 5th floor of the hotel, and it looks over the sea. I haven't eaten there, but the staff here have told me that the food is absolutely delicious. The Italian and Mexican restaurants are literally just in front of the beach. I did have lunch at the Mexican one day here, and I thought it was okay. I wasn't like, wow, this is, really delicious. I literally just thought it was okay. I don't know if the dinner service is of a different standard, but I know a lot of the guests, they thoroughly enjoy the food at the Mexican and the Italian, more so than at the main restaurant. The dinner might be really good here, but lunch, it is part of you can get lunch here, part of all inclusive, so they might not make as much effort with the food. On the 3rd floor in one of the buildings facing the sea, you've got the Sky Lounge and the Turkish restaurant. The Sky Lounge only serves international drinks, so regardless of whether you're all inclusive or not, if you want to have a drink there, you have to pay for it. So they show matches there, and it's just a place to drink and chill out. The Turkish restaurant, the food is supposed to be very good, but if you do want to eat, they need to make a reservation, and there's extra charge for eating there. But both places have really nice views looking over the sea. So in front of the beach, you've also got a juice bar. I'm not sure if this is included with all-inclusive or if you have to pay for it. I can't see any prices. And there's like another little bar where you can pick up some juice and water. And I think that is definitely all included. You can also have a romantic dinner by the beach, and they have a mixed grill menu and a seafood menu. They're actually setting it up behind me for somebody. And that there's also an Indian restaurant here at the hotel as well. One thing I've noticed about this hotel is that there doesn't appear to be ice cream included in the all-inclusive rate. So at the snack bar by the beach, they're selling like ice cream cones, like almost like a Magnum, these sorts of things for 40 Egyptian pounds. I know that's a deal breaker for some people, not being able to get ice cream on their all-inclusive holiday when they're in a hot country. I might be mistaken. There might have been a corner of the hotel that I've missed. So if you stayed here or you work at this hotel or you're going to stay here and leave a comment down below, basically to correct me, and so that other potential guests know what the hotel has to offer. It's super hot, so I'm just taking a little break underneath this seated swing, having some water, and then I'll continue. Trying not to get sunstroke making this video. Once you come through to reception, there's actually a bar here which serves drinks basically all day long. So you can get your teas, your coffees, alcoholic beverages from this bar. It's also just a nice place to chill out when you don't necessarily want to chill in the room, but you don't want to be outside in the scorching heat either. There are also some chairs outside if you want to take your tea out here. It is also a great place for sundowner in the evening. So a lot of the staff here seem to be on a commission basis, or they make their money through commission. So you'll notice if you go to the spa to ask about the services, they might be a bit pushy in pushing the services towards you. You might not be ready to book, but they will try and push a hard sell on you. Just stand your ground, say no, I'll come back later, and keep it moving. Don't feel pressurized to do it. Even on the beach, you'll have a lot of people selling excursions, and they appear to be linked or employees of the hotel, because you can't just walk into Sahl Hasheesh unless you're a guest or resident here. So these people are working in tandem with the hotel if they're not employed by the hotel. What they do offer at the hotel is when you're getting your towel, you can pick up a do not disturb card to hang up or have by you, and I suggest using that if you don't want them to start coming up to you and offering you services, because I mean it can be quite useful, someone coming up to you. Outside of the pushiness of the, let's call them vendors on the beach, the staff have been all really polite, welcoming and very helpful. I haven't had any issues with the staff whatsoever. The customer service has been good. My first impression of checking in to the hotel was a good one, and I had a really first good impression arriving at the hotel. The last thing to talk about in this hotel is the room. So I'm staying in room 5045, and my room, just like all the other rooms, is a pretty spacious room. I've got a room with 2 beds. They did opt to switch me to a room, actually a bigger room with a bigger balcony with 1 bed. However, I preferred the view from this room. The view from the other room was looking over the pool, and I'm not into pool view rooms. When I'm sitting out in the balcony sipping on my cup of tea, I don't want to see children or people screaming and splashing around in the pool, or hear like the party music that they're playing in the pool. I just want to relax, and for me this room has like the perfect view. I want to show you something. I am literally in love with the view from my room. I just want to show you like what I'm experiencing right now. It's absolutely beautiful. So I don't even think the GoPro, yes. So you look to your left, beautiful sunset, and then I look to my right, the sea. I mean, you've got the sea over here, desert, and then beautiful sunrise. I mean, isn't this like everything? This is absolutely stunning. I'm so happy right now. I'm so full and I'm so happy. If you're finding this video useful, please do subscribe. So this is the view from the balcony of the room that they offered to move me to, which I went to see on my second night. So after my first night, the balcony is a little bit bigger. The room is more or less the same size. But there was no way I was going to give up the view of that beautiful sunset and looking over the ocean, just to kind of look over the dining area and the top of the pool. So I just opted to stay in the room with 1 bed. The beds are quite comfortable, a little bit firm, but they've got a bit of a bounce to them. So for me, they've been fine. I do like a firm mattress, but they're kind of in between. They're not overly firm, but they're not soft either. I did think there was a little bit stingy with the pillows, because this room comes with 2 twin beds, and I would say that the bed is a little bit bigger than a single. The only issue that I have is that they've given like 1 pillow per twin bed, so I've currently got both of the pillows on here. So if there was another person in this room, we both would only have 1 pillow each. There is 1 spare pillow in the cupboard. However, I think there should be 2. I think it's standard for 1 person to have 2 pillows, because some people like to be propped up as opposed to lying flat, which you essentially are when you're on 1 pillow. The pillow itself isn't that plush. It's quite a flat pillow. It does have a nice bounce to it, but it's not like a thick pillow. Everything has been clean and spotless, like no stains on the sheets whatsoever. This type of room suits so many different types of travelers, so business travelers, families, friends and couples. You can see there's actually space for them to put an additional bed or cot if you need it. I personally love the size of the bathroom. The bathroom is really big and spacious, and there's plenty of space for your toiletries and your own bits and pieces. They've got a bathtub in here and a standing shower. The standing shower is a little bit small, so you don't necessarily have a lot of space to be like stretching up and stretching to the sides to wash yourself, but it's still nice. And then obviously you've got the throne, and you've got the two types of bidets to keep yourself clean. The one which, the jet that comes out of the back of the toilet, and then like a hose. There is a hairdryer in the bathroom, and you've also got like a good set of toiletries here. You get a shower gel, conditioner, shampoo, body lotion, soap and shower cap, which is quite good. You've also got a phone in the bathroom, which is good too. So although there are a range of toiletries for use in the bathroom, I wouldn't say like that the best quality, and they're still using single-use plastics here, as opposed to in some hotels where they have like the big refillable bottles which they fill up between guest stays. I really like the size of this bathroom. You could fit like 20 people in here, well, and have a really close party. Of course, you've got your mini fridge. There's absolutely nothing in there, so you can keep your water, your own snacks in there if you have any. And then you've got a tea making facilities here, which you've got your kettle. The cups, when you first check in, they come in this kind of bag to say that they've been cleaned and sterilized. And then you've got English tea, so the Lipton tea and like the Nescafe instant coffee, and you got sugar there. So I suggest if you drink herbal tea or any other teas, bring them with you. In the morning they do have a few more. When you go for breakfast, they do have a bit more tea options if you want to take a couple of tea bags. You've got a nice little seating area here to just sit and relax with a desk. The TV is built into a unit in the wall, which I quite like. I don't like it when the TVs are on like the working desk or the vanity desk, because actually that leaves very little space for you to actually use the desk. Then in the corner, they've got one space for you to keep your luggage. The room doesn't come with an iron and ironing board. However, I wanted to iron my dress this morning, so they can bring you an iron and ironing board on request. The built-in wardrobe is pretty massive and it's a decent size. On one side you've got shelves and you've got your mini safe, and then on the other side is where you can hang your clothes. The only negative about this room is the AC. The AC works fine. You've got a unit in the wall. It is very noisy. I don't use AC because I find it just makes the room really dry and you wake up, but I wake up in the morning if I sleep with AC on and my skin is dry, my eyeballs are dry, my throat is dry, so I'd rather just sweat throughout the night. If you're someone who likes to have the AC on continuously and you're a sensitive sleeper, the AC is a little bit noisy in the room. Let me turn it on to see if you can hear it. So as soon as I turn it on, but you hear that kind of wind blowing through the vent that is just up behind me. There's also a vent in the bathroom, but it's always making a noise. This is outside of your control. Sometimes you have these ventilations in the bathroom, but they turn on when you turn the light on. But this one is always on regardless of whether the light is on. It turns off at a certain time of night, in between a certain time of night and in the morning, but during the night it's essentially off. I'm not sure if the mic is picking it up, but there's a humming sound that's always coming from the vent. If you're sensitive to noises, you might not like this.
If you're finding
Although
this
it's
video
pretty
useful,
minor, it
please
doesn't
do
bother me, but
subscribe.
it's something that I've noticed. The rooms also have the electronic do not disturb switch, and please make up my room switch rather than having to hang a tag by your door. And it has a doorbell. I didn't have a dressing gown or slippers in this room. Thank goodness I always bring like slippers with me because I like walking around indoors with slippers. But that seems to be a trend in some of these 5-star hotels. They don't give you slippers unless you're staying in a suite. But I have enjoyed my stay here. This hotel is good for a multitude of different travelers, and I do like the room here. Please do subscribe.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.